Today we're going to be going over a quick and simple workout routine that I utilize for runners all the time. So if you're a runner who's looking for a workout plan that encompasses the whole entire body, head to toe, and works on many of those weak points that runners tend to have because they tend to just enjoy running, then this video is going to help bring up all those lagging areas and is geared towards you. So we're going to start today off working at our torso and working our way down towards the feet. So many things that runners tend to lack is hip mobility as well as thoracic rotation. If you think about running as a whole, there's very minimal rotation that actually occurs. A lot of times people, from holding their phone or being too tense with their run, are very, very stiff and rigid in their upper body, and they don't rotate side to side too well. Furthermore, running really doesn't require that much range of motion to go through, so our hips tend to get stiff because if you watch a runner from the side, they really only go through about 20 degrees of hip range of motion, lifting their leg up. So I find that many runners lack thoracic rotation as well as hip flexion and rotation. So these are two drills that help cover our bases there. One is an adductor rock back with thoracic rotation, and another is child rockers turning into a shifting child rocker, where we're working on rotating our spine side to side, getting our head over top of either knee, going back and forth. Because when we talk about running, when we get on our feet, we should see that our head moves back and forth over top of right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg as we rotate back and forth. We don't want to see our sternum stay still and facing straight ahead the whole entire run, because that means we're just simply not rotating through our body and we're not running in an efficient manner if we're not rotating. Now after those couple drills, they're a nice way to get like a full body warm-up done in very, very quickly. We're going to move on to the strengthening portion of the workout, where we're going to get into tap downs off of a box on flat ground, and then we're going to superset that with a stability ball hamstring curl, preferably on one leg if you can. Both of these exercises we're going to shoot for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, and we're going to load it up as you feel comfortable, especially with those tap downs. Again, the hamstring curls and the stability ball, you're going to try to get to single leg if possible. In addition to hip issues that generally comes from stiffness, which is why we had the warm-up drills that we did earlier, I also see a lot of runners for knee pain and hamstring pain. Well, these 2 exercises are going to help cover our bases there. The knee exercise is very particular to the amount of range of motion that we go through when we run. Because again, our knee really doesn't go through that much range of motion when we run, maybe about 20 degrees. It's bent when it's loaded, contacting the ground. So we want to get that range of motion super strong, because that's where we're going to be dealing with a lot of the impact as it relates to running, is through that first 20 degrees of knee range of motion. So that's why these tap downs can be thought of as just like a modified squat through the partial range of motion or partial depth to really help develop that patellar tendon resiliency. And then we'll hit the hamstrings through a full range of motion, because the hamstrings are going to help obviously pick the leg up through that swing phase, and then as you strike the ground back down to the floor. So the hamstrings need to have a good deal of strength and endurance to those tendons and to those muscles as well too. So we're going to superset those from a time efficiency standpoint, so you don't spend all day at the gym. Next up, we're going to hit our shins and calves. Obviously, shin splints and Achilles tendonitis are a very common issue that runners have to deal with. So we want to just make sure those tendons have a baseline level of resiliency, strength, and tolerance, again, to the amount of load and impact that they are going to go through as we go about our training with running. This is another great exercise to pair superset with one another, where we do 10 to 12 calf raises on a slant board, single leg preferably, and then loaded if you can tolerate that. And then pair that with the tib raises standing, where we're just going up and down, working almost to failure with this one, getting around 10 to 15 reps of the tib raises in standing, working those tib anterior front shin muscles. After doing 3 sets or 3 rounds of these 2 exercises, our body should be pretty darn warm at this point in time. So then we're going to move on to more plyometric training, or getting the body ready for impact. When you think about running, that's all that we're really dealing with. We're dealing with impact every step, every ground contact that we make. Walking to a certain degree is less, but sprinting is obviously much higher amounts of impact that we have to deal with. We're talking about just jogging as it relates to this video, but it's certainly way more impact than what you'll ever experience when you are walking. So the body needs, again, to be prepared for that. The best way to be prepared for that is to accentuate the extremes, so that when you go to do your running, you've experienced something that's a lot higher intensity, which makes running seem all that easier. And essentially what you're doing with this is you're building a buffer zone against what your body is used to or acclimated to experience, so that you have some body armor when it comes to going out on the road and going for your runs and hitting the distances and mileages that you would like to achieve. So 2 exercises that we're going to finish up with here. We are not supersetting them. We're making sure you get as much rest as you need to with the 2, but it's a landing off of a box. So you're going to focus on landing on 2 feet, land nice and soft, try to attenuate that force. So think as if you're sneaking up on somebody, trying to land as softly on the ground as possible. And trying to do this from higher and higher boxes, so you have to deal with more and more impact, and then eventually getting to single leg over time, so that again you have to deal with more load, more impact, which again creates that buffer zone because you're not going to experience any impact nearly this high when you run. So if you can get really good at doing this, really comfortable when you do this, then that's going to make running all that much more easier for you. Typical session of this might look like 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps. This depends on the height of box that you use. I'm trying to get to the highest box that I feel comfortable with, as well as, if possible, get to single leg. Just for reference, I'll commonly use 20-inch to 24-inch boxes with people, including myself. But again, depending on what you're capable of doing, you might use something small as a 4-inch box. And then the final exercise we have here today is a U-shaped line hop. You can do this on 2 feet, which is very easy and accomplished. A lot of people can accomplish that. But eventually, if you can get to, again, 1 leg with this exercise, there's a lot more load, there's a lot more force that we have to move with single leg. And obviously when you're running, there's periods of time where you're on single leg. So we want to be able to feel capable of doing this on 1 leg and feel comfortable and confident in doing so. A couple keys with the exercise: we want a crisp ground contact. You should feel like a bouncy ball hitting the ground, not a beach ball, which means you should be quick off the ground. We also want to minimize the amount that the heel drops. We don't want to see a lot of play or slack developing up in the Achilles. Again, we're learning to teach our tendons how to deal with impact. This goes a long way for preventing tendinopathies and tendon-like injuries, both from the Achilles tendon and the patellar tendon up at the knee. And there you have it. There's a quick, short workout. You don't need to spend hours in the gym, especially if you're running. Especially if you're a runner. You're going to enjoy spending time outside running or spending time doing your thing and running. You don't need to spend an absorbent amount of time in the gym. These exercises, these workouts are quick, fast, straight to the point, and focused on areas of need for runners specifically. These workouts should take 25 to 30 minutes in totality once you know what you are doing. And if you enjoy workouts like this and you'd want more workouts as it pertains to runners, then we have a workout directed specifically for runners that you can click on here. We have a link down in the description of this video. That workout plan also includes access to me through an app which you can communicate with me, ask questions, get feedback on form and technique, which I'd argue is one of the most beneficial aspects of the program and totally worth the price of admission. So if you're a runner who's dealing with aches and pains, could be anywhere head to toe, and looking for a workout that encompasses the whole entire body, specific to what your goal is, which is running, then check out these workouts below. Keep in tune with us at Sports Rehab Expert. Subscribe to our channel for future videos, and be sure to comment down below what you like, what you would like to see more of, and any questions you might have for us, as we're constantly putting out new videos and content all the time.